As someone who's played tennis for more than half their life, I was excited about the prospect of a tennis game coming to the current generation of consoles. But with what AO Tennis provides, the game fails to make the shot past the net. And from the outset, I was disappointed with how the game plays. From a clunky movement system to plenty of bugs that caused me to flat out just not play a shot, and even the opponent's ability to know where to stand. I mean, I could instantly win every single point off my serve if I just walked all the way across and served it out wide, providing I got the timing right, which I pretty quickly worked out. The variation in the ground strokes work reasonably well, except sometimes the animation just fails to accurately portray how that shot would be hit in sort of a physics-defying way. It's like slicing a topspin shot, for example. And even drop shots seem to be pulled off with relative ease. You know, every player has that magic touch of their racket that even the top class professionals don't even have. And even with the challenge system, you just feel like sometimes the umpires aren't even looking at the match. The rallies all just feel very rushed and defensive. And even if you do manage to build a point together, you can find your player not going for the shot due to the timing bug. Or you get the complete reversal where instead of not hitting the ball just flies off your racket at an insane speed. And for me, it's the struggle for the consistency of the rallies which just removes some of the fun. In order for a rally to actually have purpose, it needs to be consistent to build the point, and here the inconsistency just kills that aspect. Now, I'm not going to harp on about the limited player roster because that's always been an issue for tennis games. Maybe 20 stars at a maximum normally. So here they've done a pretty good job. And once again, Big Ant has given us the academy system to create and download user-created work, you know, for the stars that are desperately missing in the game. The number one point of that would be, you know, the 6-time Australian Open champion and current defending champion Roger Federer. Now let's get into the game modes, because you can casually play a match, which tennis games have generally been very arcade style, but you can't really pick your options that well. You're only able to pick from preset options, not being able to customize rules or even how many games per set in some of them. And as it currently stands, the tiebreak game modes don't even work, so the quickest one you can play is a 1-set match. You can also play through the Australian Open main draw, although it obviously doesn't have the full list of players that were actually in the main draw. And you can even play a full career mode where you tour the circuit. Now with this, the ranking points work accurately, but the scheduling does not, and this is where it really lets itself down, because you're limited to small generic tournaments with only the Brisbane International and the Australian Open your main source of actual ranking points. And this is really where that career mode lacks depth. You know, there's no real mock of the ATP Tour, with every tournament just being very generic and worth a small number of points. This would work much better if they use their generic courts to go from the hard court season to the clay court season, to the grass court season, then to the hard courts again, and then the tour finals at the end of the year. And I was shocked that there wasn't even generic Grand Slams of the French Open or Wimbledon. And just to put it out there, Virtua Tennis and Smash Court Tennis on the PS2 at least had those generic slams to offer in their own variation. AO Tennis had me excited for its potential, but really all it serves up is a double fault. The constant shot bugs, random rallies, and the lack of career depth for me break that replayability factor and makes this a very difficult game for me to recommend in its current state.